Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Sorry, I just got a bit distracted. As soon as I push record, this little gnat just decided it wanted to go into the light like Carol Ann. I was trying to catch a gnat. Oh man, but anyway, hello, happy Friday. It's September 13th, so it's Friday the 13th. Hope you are doing well. And you've had a great week, gearing up for a great weekend, and everything good. Everything good that you can possibly conceive of is what you will be creating. I guess not one last reminder, but certainly winding down now. It'll be fall equinox before you know it, and the summer soul sale will officially be over. So if you are interested in taking advantage of the 1111 questions and the personalized prayers, then look in the description box below and you will find all the information that you need on that there. All right, you will most likely not hear from me tomorrow. Most likely, I'll put it that way. If the spirit moves me, then perhaps I may show up in some other form. But I'm not particularly planning to be here at this table tomorrow reading cards. So I guess you'll have to find out. But in any event, I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll definitely see you by Monday at the absolute latest, or talk to you by Monday. All right, let's see what we got here. This little creature is really trying it. The Hierophant, what's under here? Just curious. The Hermit, wow. The Hierophant and the Hermit. That's some powerful energy to start. And what's that? The King of Swords? I just heard the Knights Templar. What? Oh, man. We dealing with secret society vibes right now? Or is this, there could be, an investigator, like a undercover, wow, some type of undercover energy that has been building a case from the inside on a secret society or on secret societies, because especially with the King of Swords too, that's definitely given some type of official person, lawyer. This is definitely like a detective or, again, an investigator, and he's looking into this organization here. Or it could even be that it doesn't, I'm definitely getting it more on the mystical vibes, but it could literally be a company or a corporation being investigated as well for some type of, I don't know, illegal activities, shady behaviors or practices. Yes, shady practices. Even that word holds a heavy charge for me. What's really going on, at secret board meetings, beyond the, beyond the books, off the books, I should say. You know what I mean? Like how people are really earning their keep, or earning their profits, or so this could literally be in a mystical sense, or this could literally be somebody getting audited, or being checked, being investigated and looked into for how they, how legitimate their practices are. It could even be like a tax audit or something. I don't know if that would be now that something like that would happen. But I did see like a video yesterday about PPP loans, and how, people are still being taken down for that, great and small. And he was kind of talking about how people that consider their offenses on the minor side, like they didn't really take too much or do too much, are kind of like breathing easy right now, as if like, oh, I'm straight, they weren't about the big fish. But it's like a trickle down effect, where they have definitely been going after the bigger offenses, those that just was outrageous, taking thousands, hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars, and having, no real, like justification on the books for it. But then it's still coming down to those that maybe just nickel and dimed, that benefit still unlawfully, though. Like they're not going to miss anybody, pretty much, is what he was saying. Like, and he was showing different videos of people that, just now are meeting their fate, through prosecution and stuff from, that was way back during the pandemic, so I don't know. But you know what? I'm going to put that back. And we are going to start from scratch today, and let's just see where it gets us. Strength card. Strength card at the top of the deck. Let's see. Oh, the King of Swords still there? That's kind of weird. Where was he before? Was he on the bottom or the top? I don't even know, but wow. It's giving strong investigation. Like, yeah. That the case is strong, whatever it is. If I'm talking about something specific, or again, like general, it's like the cases that are being, it really wouldn't even be all that hard to build a case, especially in regards to something like PPP, because it's like, you took it, how did you spend it? Did you even have a real company? Like, it's not even that hard to really, prove. But if we're talking about something more mystical, perhaps something that would be harder to prove, maybe even a bit unbelievable, without, like, that's what it's giving me, that someone kind of needed to infiltrate the organization or the inside, because the truth is so deeply buried at the core, and maybe even at the underbelly of some organizations, that you wouldn't be able to get to any you wouldn't be able to really get to the bottom of anything unless you were on the actual inside. So somebody could have been for a long time, undercover or affiliated in some secretive way, again, to build this case to make sure that once, you know, whatever the foundation of it was would be strong, you know, would be undeniable, and that, you know, they would be able to catch everyone. I mean, the Hierophant is like the top, the head man in charge, like the top of the food chain. So wanted to make sure that, and then not just say that, like about the video where he was saying that they're going from the top down and everything in between. So yeah, it's like the intention of like prosecuting this organization was like very deep and detailed with that Hierophant, I mean with that Hermit card. So deeply penetrated so that nobody could be missed, you know, like so that everybody from the head man in charge to the lowest man on the totem pole would all be webbed in to some degree. Something about that, I don't know. I don't know. But whatever it is, there's a strong case. They have enough evidence. They have names to faces. I said web, so they know like how they know they're clear about the affiliations within the organization and maybe even outside of the organization, like the different connections that are in association. They know how it operates. They know how it functions. They know what the profits are. They know what the procedures and the practices are. It's like everything has been documented, documented and noted. Okay. All right. Let's see what else. I'm gonna try not to make this a long message. Let's just do a little pyramid situation. Let's see, what's that? Well, that's pretty confirmative. Is that a word? Confirmative? I like it if it ain't. Yeah, this Ace of Wands, that's certainly doubling down on the power and the strength of whatever it is that this is. Literally like what is fueling this organism. Let's see. Whoa, with the King of Pentacles, the Kingpin. Yeah, the power and the force behind, or the power and the force of the operation. And then again, like I said, like top of the food chain, the who's funding it, who's benefiting from it, who's advancing it, who's leading it, like the leaders. Now we've seen, yeah, so we've seen the Hierophant, who's kind of like the grand master or the grand poobah of the organization. But then the kings would probably be like lieutenants, or, you know, I don't know, like, I don't know how you would say it, like governors of different territories or over different factions, or managers, so to speak, executives. If we're talking about a corporation, you got your CEO, and then you would have like, this could be like the COO, you know what I mean? But what's the deal with the Ace of Wands? Maybe just a lot of ego-fueled corruption, and that could be what ultimately is the downfall, is that there's a lot of, is greatly driven by ego, or has been exhausted to that point, you know, at this, like almost running on the fumes of ego at this point. Because I'm getting a sense that, I don't know why, but I'm getting a sense that something is falling apart. It could just be the fact that the case is getting stronger and stronger, so it's just inevitable, you know, that it's if it hasn't already been some type of raid or some type of investigation, indictment, like some type of press and pressure put on whatever this is, it's on, you know, it's only a matter of time. With the Queen of Cups. What? What is, hold on, what's behind here? The Hierophant again. And what's this peeking at me? The Ten of Wands. Okay, so something's being covered up, because it's just really confusing me right now. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, maybe something's being covered up. Like how, what the pressure and the struggle, like an internal struggle, maybe even a power struggle, like I said, is what's the cause of the breakdown from the inside out. And there's still more or less like a front that's being maintained, that everything is fine. Oh, I was about to put this down, but this doesn't belong down, right? Because we're still looking at the Queen of Cups. Yeah. Could be somebody's wife that is maybe the reason why the case is so strong is because either somebody's wife or mistress, or just some type of object of affection here, kid's mama, something like that, has been turned in the favor of the authorities, like kind of has been the one to be feeding information. What's behind this? I'm just curious. Yeah, with the Four of Pentacles, there's some withholding though. It's something about, yeah, somebody's still trying to keep up a face here, withholding information. This came up yesterday of what really is going on. Somebody even could be aware of, that would be wild. I don't know, I'm gonna just say this, it could just be an inflection of a story, maybe not this one, and absolutely, But it seems like somebody could even know of, like, they're well aware of this press and this pressure. Like, they may even know that they're under investigation. The top, the leader, but they're not telling anybody, or they're keeping up a real good facade. Like, well, that could happen, like in a corporation where they know for a fact that they got a lot of strikes against them that could even ultimately get them shut down, or they could be under such scrutiny legally that they wouldn't be able to, fulfill like their daily operations. And it's like nobody is aware of the jeopardy that the organization is in. And ultimately, especially in this country, a lot of times these corporations have access in a way where they can cut deals, or sideline, they can kind of like relieve themselves in some way, shape, or form on the side. But the people that really stand to be most affected, and that seem to almost perhaps be the most vulnerable and unaware, are the ones that are holding it down from the other levels of the organization. This could even be loyalty, this could even be love, and this could even be like a dedication to the organization, again, not knowing what's really going on behind the scenes or what is yet to unfold. And it could be somebody is kind of keeping that under wraps so as to not really like alarm the masses, or alarm to alarm his people. But something is going on here, and it's real fishy, because what I'm seeing, even with the Queen of Cups, the Strength, like, these are good cards, but I know what I feel and I know what I sense. And there's something fishy going on here that either everyone isn't privy to except the leader, or someone extremely intimately close to the leader is an intricate part of, and that is the secret, or that is, like the undercover force, so to speak. Maybe, and I did say there's somebody that would need to infiltrate so deeply that they would be able to get close enough to know like all the ins and outs. And I mean, it could be somebody's lover. It's one way or the other. Either the lover is the, let's say, the plug, aka the rat, or somebody is knowing what it's hitting for, and they're not telling anyone. They may not even be telling their significant other, and then all of a sudden it all goes to shit, and they wouldn't even know. You know what I mean? Wouldn't even know what hit them. Be at home and in the mansion relaxing one day, and the door get kicked in, and here it is. They knew it was coming all along, and maybe they didn't skip town or skip the country or something. Like, it's something weird here. Somebody is not aware of something. We had the King of Swords come up twice, and the Hierophant show its face twice, and the Hermit. Something is real fishy and funny. It's even throwing me off, I'm not gonna lie. You see how that came out? I don't know if you did, but it came out in a bit of a struggle. Yeah, it's like somebody's looking forward either to some escape, rescue, way out. For something to come in and kind of like save them, maybe, or relieve them. That there's some type of great expectation here. What's on the bottom? Now we got the damn King of Wands. Now we've seen the King of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and now the King of Wands. You ain't gonna tell me that this ain't some type of elaborate organization, one way or another, with multiple layers of leadership and power. Here's the power that has a very intricate, that functions in a very, I mean, I would venture to say sophisticated way, like has very sophisticated, or at least very, very secretive, you know, practices, like every Hierophant energy, secret society, like everyone is not privy to this fraternity of sorts, or privy to the upper echelon of this organization, you know, where it may be a, you know, it may be a front for something else corporately or professionally, but behind closed doors, it's something very different. And this could even be like Three of Wands. It could be someone, and more than I feel like somebody waiting on their so-called ships to come in, I feel like it's somebody waiting on some escape route, or waiting to be rescued. May even be trying to, like I said, flee the country. That would be wild, like to leave all of this, like they know what's going on and they're not telling anybody. And maybe they're looking to escape, you know, like Jeffrey, what's his name? Jeffrey Epstein style, where a legend has it that he's not really expired, that he's probably somewhere on a private island living his best life. Who knows? But we're talking about the type of influence and power that could have that access, if, you know, I mean, at least on the physical level, you know, on the practical level. Spiritually, if that is true about Jeffrey, it still is a hell of a way to live, you know, to pretty much to live in obscurity for the rest of your existence. I suppose it's better than jail, but it's kind of its own prison to some degree. So yeah, now it's giving exile vibes, like somebody really could be desperate for an escape, but really is kind of sentencing themselves to a bit of an exile of sorts, wherever it is they may be able to escape to, if they can, is completely disconnected from the life that they work so hard to build and create. Their significant other, their family, their fortune, their greatest influence and power, their affiliations, their corporation. I mean, it could be something good to look forward to beyond what would be inevitable to face, and on the other side of whatever this investigation could be. But like I said, still, is that really what you would want for your life? I wouldn't. I mean, not unless, yeah, look at this, Five of Pentacles. Not unless I decide I want to go live in obscurity somewhere. It's my choice, but not because I feel like I have to. And this is what, now we got the Queen of Swords. This is what, wow, a divorcee who they could also be leaving broke, because it's like once the authorities shake down on whatever this is, whatever they aren't able to kind of stash away or get away, this could even be that, like somebody has some type of offshore account or stash outside of the country or whatever that they can go tap into, but the despair that they leave at home in their wake is like very unfortunate, to say the least. This could be the Five of Pentacles. Could, again, it could be those that are a part of this establishment, those that, you know, may lose a job or their livelihood on account of what of how this establishment gets crushed or gets I just heard persecuted, but prosecuted, one or the other. Their significant other, again, like they would just leave wife and kids behind, like, so sorry for you. And it's like all the accounts are frozen or wiped out, and the home is seized by the government. And, you know, it's just like somebody's just like, I gotta save myself type of energy. And this could happen on account of someone literally picking up and leaving. But like I said, it could also be someone that knows what trouble is about to filter down into this organization, and they cut a deal, you know, like to really pretty much give up everything, give up everybody. Literally, the head of the operation would decide, well, if I can just go into like witness protection or be able to kind of just escape the country, I'll give you everything you need to know. So he's giving up all the lieutenants, all the executives, all the middlemen, all the business associates and affiliates. It seems kind of heartless to me, but like, damn. Yeah, Queen of Swords type vibes, like leaving this is somebody, this could be someone that has gone from the object of affection to, you know, that somebody quite cold and calloused on account of how she's been left behind, if that's what it's representing here. Or, like I said, this could be the role that the significant other is playing, almost, you know, again, on behalf of the prosecution, which this can represent, the Queen of Swords, to give up the tapes, you know, which still does the same thing. Like somebody's definitely the key to the case, you know, in a powerful way. And the outcome is that a lot of people are going to lose out at the Five of Pentacles. And it almost feels like they don't even know they're not even going to know what hit them. Literally with the Ace of Wands, like it's just going to be such a powerful, like, I don't even know, a great impact to their normal daily lives, and something that nobody was on guard for, nobody had on their radar. There were no warnings that if the leader was being secretive, he didn't tell a soul. Like nobody could confirm or account for the sheer possibility of there being a threat, and then all of a sudden there is. you know, like out of nowhere. Oh crap, this just came up in reverse. Like the whole assembly line has been halted. Everything. Production is completely stopped. Damn. Like I said, everybody from the top to the bottom, but certainly those, like if this is a legitimate so-called corporation and people are just clocking in, clocking out to work every day, just, you know, earning their keep, this is going to put a lot of people out of work. This could be something, I don't know. If it's coming up like this, it's either something extremely mystical that, I mean, only if you know, to conceive of the effects of a takedown such as this and how that could trickle down or, you know, be a catalyst for change. And or this is a huge, like, monster of an organization that a lot of people that, you know, that has a great deal of an impact, influence, that, you know, maybe employs a lot of people, and some type of giant in the industry is what we're talking about here, that gets hit so hard on account of some level of corruption or mismanagement or something, that it's really going to have a deep effect on a lot of people. I'm talking about hella job loss. And again, like just people not even being, like people just being blindsided by it. And also people that have nothing to do with the corruption at a higher level, just doing their jobs and now having to figure out something else at a time like this in this economy. Damn, look at this, the Hermit again. That's confirming. It's multiple organizations that are invested into whatever this case is, like all the alphabet boys. And whether or not it all gets to be publicized or revealed, I feel like if this is in fact like a corporation, the impact is going to be so great that it's going to have to be newsworthy. Even if it's like a matter of something just shut down out of nowhere and it's like, it doesn't, you know, it seems like it doesn't make any sense. All these jobs just, you know, that's definitely an indication that something deeper, maybe some corruption or something was going on that they may not share up front. But yeah, if you see it in the news, you'll know that that's what we're talking about here. But in this season, it would be kind of hard to get around like full disclosure, because most things that have been operating out of, you know, in corruption and out of integrity are not really being spared to save face. You know, like 9 times out of 10, the full story would at least eventually be revealed and exposed. And with it, you know, the corruption of the leader or leaders, and they wouldn't really be able to escape scrutiny or prosecution, even if there is, you know, an anticipation. Maybe that's what this is that the leader or leaders that feel that, you know, they can just kind of weasel their way out of of trouble as they usually are able to do because they have a lot of power and influence. I'll be interested to see what's on the other side of this card when we get around to it, because that's really not the vibes right now. Like, everybody kind of has to pay like they weigh. And especially if you're causing this much despair to so many people that are really kind of innocent, just on account of you doing too much and being greedy, you know, there's definitely hell to pay for that right now. Ooh, pharmaceuticals? Because this is giving pill mill with the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. And the Five of Pentacles definitely could be, wow, could we see the retribution and vindication of those that have been disenfranchised by big pharma, and particularly some big pharma agencies that have had a great deal. Maybe there's something that's going to come through with that, i.e. Purdue, that never really paid its just due. You know, like, they were dismantled, you know, for the most part, but those executives got away scot-free as far as I'm concerned. They were hit with fines and stuff, but as far as last I remember hearing, they found loopholes and ways out of that, and to this day I don't think they've paid. It's something that's still like pending or something like that. And they were allowed to maintain a great deal of their own fortune, which is ridiculous to me. Like, how could you be able to keep the fortune that you made on the misfortune of others at such a gross rate at that? Proven to be negligent. Now that would certainly be, yeah, look at this. Still so pleased with themselves, but that was a bit in a struggle. So I don't know. There could be some type of new development that could wipe the smile right off of some executives' faces. Well, I don't know if they're even executives anymore, but you know, that family, that estate, that legacy, you know, or who knows, it could, a lot of times how karma hits back, it's in ways that is never publicized per se, you know, so it could already be wreaking havoc, you know, in a different type of way where you hold on to all your money, but you know, who knows how the divine could be ravaging that legacy in ways that they would never see coming, would never have expected, because they still have money and influence and power, you know. So I don't know, and I don't know if that's exactly what we're talking about, but it came up in my energy very clearly. What's on the bottom? Queen of Pentacles. Yeah. This is like, someone that is affluent and can materialize fortune from what is, you know, this is like, it's the feminine energy of what we've already seen from the King of Pentacles. So this is like being able to multiply a harvest, you know. So it speaks to not just what you can acquire or work for, but also how you maintain it and how you magnify what's all, like, literally taking special care of like your stocks and bonds and your investments, and seeing it grow is what I get from the Queen of Pentacles. It's not really about new acquisitions, but so it could even be like there being a bit of a ceiling on that growth or that manifestation or multiplication, whereas before it was like the Eight of Pentacles and the upright, like it was just flowing in. There was always something more to look forward to, but perhaps, like I said, with the conveyor belt or the production line at a standstill, it could incite some instability, as this was in the struggle, or some insecurity, particularly of a financial nature, to build, or magnify the fortune. At this point, it might be more focused on maintenance and holding on to what you have, because there could be a stop of growth here, or could be, an impending stop in growth. If you can't make money the way that you did because your business is shut down, there's really no prosperous outlook on gaining more or even building on what you have. And especially if, funds are being frozen or funds are being seized, or you're having to pay for representation, legal representation and protection, and so on and so forth. Like, yeah. But the Queen of Pentacles, though, with the Nine of Cups, that was a struggle, could even be like maybe like a matriarch. Like, say we are talking about pharma in some way, shape, or form, and this could even be like the karma is that someone significant to that legacy is dependent on some substance or another, alcohol, pills, whatever the case may be. And that would be, the retribution, that what you inflicted a nation with at this point didn't quite, miss you at home either. And perhaps it didn't, we just don't know about it. But that would definitely be some poetic justice that karma is good for. And the Lovers again. The Lovers. What's under? Judgment. Damn. Yeah. It's about, it's given, like with the Lovers, is something here about that corruption, like almost manifesting itself as a curse on the legacy that is in line to be most affected by it. Like, this Lovers card isn't what it usually is for me, especially now it coming out again. It's something about like the partnership here, or the union, or really I feel like it's more so about hitting where you would almost be most affected. And imagine if, back to the other story, like if somebody had to leave everything behind, and that would actually be your partner after all these years. You know what I mean? Like, how hurtful that would be to have to accept, even in the light of it being, you know, for your own survival. If it's that, or hell, if it's the other way around and the partner is the one doing the telling, or whatever the case may be, it's like somebody or people could be hit. See how this is a partner here, and it's almost like where you found your greatest sense of security and stability, maybe even sensationalism, you know, and the ideal of a continued legacy. You need a man and a woman for that, for the most part, right? And that would be the thing that would be most affected, whether it's the choice that you're forced to make to protect yourself that affects it, or you being affected by the thing that you actually trusted the most. You know, that's another deep part. And where you thought you could be most safe and secure and sound. That's actually what that's given here, and that actually be the one to turn you in and do you in. Either way, it's still a matter of the karmic justice, where someone thought they were most protected is actually where they were most vulnerable, or what they thought was most protected. Maybe somebody thought their relationship was just in a separate world from the corruption that they had going on, or the choices that they were making, the practices that they were invested in, that caused despair for others, that they're more disconnected from. You know, like, it's like, all right, well, I'm sorry that thousands may lose their job, or that my associates might get taken down, but I'm good, you know, type of thing, where I'm gonna try to save me as much as I possibly can, or whatever. But it ends up still hitting home, I feel like, in a way that was least expected. And it's the lover. So it's like, still the way these cards are facing, it almost makes me a bit insecure. Like, am I reading this right? But I'm telling you, it's something strange here. And then with the Judgment card, I feel like that's confirming too, that there's definitely some point of action, you know, that's being called to order here. You know, when the Judgment is here, it's definitely a consideration of actions taken, choices made, you know, cause and effect, bringing some order or balance or retribution to what has been maybe dysfunctional, or, you know, just out of alignment. So I know that there's something here with that, but the cards, like, it's really either this isn't something that has broken yet, obviously, or it's such a secretive it's such a top secret mission that, I mean, when I say every I is dotted and T is crossed in terms of keeping this as under wraps and undercover as possible, until every morsel of evidence is procured to really make the bust, or make the, you know, to make the indictment. Because it's still something that seems to be so serene in different ways about this scene. Even with the Nine of Cups, it was a struggle, but it's fair to take it up right. With the Three of Wands, with the Strength, with the Queen of Cups. The only thing that's a little funny is the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. You know, that, and of course the Five of Pentacles, but everything else is pretty, what's the word? Like, it's not, like, it's not too alarming. And maybe that's the thing. It's like, it's trying to keep it real calm, cool, and collected, so that nobody is tipped off. And here I am saying all the business, but so nobody is tipped off to try to make a run for it, or escape, or be on, you know, cut a deal, or get cold feet, get scared, back off, you know, whatever it is. But it's weird. This is weird. All right, one more card. This even could be like some type of heavy drug addiction, and then with the struggle, like maybe some substance abuse, I would say, which is a side note. I don't know how that interweaves into this story, but I'm getting that here with the Five of Pentacles, and it's something that is not being, it's a habit that's not being supported anymore as well, with the Eight of Pentacles in reverse and the Five. This is a doozy, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. Let's see what that is. The Queen of Pentacles again. It kind of flipped around, but I think it's fair to take it upright. What? Or heck, maybe this counterpart is setting herself up to be the beneficiary of all, maybe that's what it is. That somebody somebody maybe thought that they had secured themselves a nest egg abroad or somewhere offshore or something. And here this Queen of Pentacles has figured out a way to reroute the finances to herself so that when this all goes down, she's still taken care of. Damn, that could be wild. This is the second time we're seeing the Queen of Pentacles. All right, let's see, what's the end of this? Oh, the Hierophant again. Oh my gosh, and what? And the King of Cups. Here's the counterpart here. Yeah, this is definitely somebody's partner or a partnership that, man, really feel like the masculine energy is the one who thought they had more of a stake and security in this partnership than what they actually did. The more it's coming through, that's what it's feeling like. Like he's the man, the man in charge everywhere else. So it just makes sense that it translates into his relationship and his marriage, except that the one he least expected to kind of like put him on the stake is the one who did, and that's the one who has all the ammunition to do so. All the tapes, all the receipts, all the accounts, all of the most sacred and secretive information. Because at this point, we've seen every queen except for the Queen of Wands, right? Yeah. Well, we saw the King of Wands. So, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to lie. This was strange. This was a strange way to close the week. But I don't know. It's some type of corporation or organization, secret or public, or both, that I would say is perhaps about to be in for a rude awakening. This could be a matter of, showing up to work on Monday morning and realizing that, there is no work. The doors are shut and locked and closed, or waking up to check your accounts on Monday and they're all frozen, or, coming home after a long business trip over the weekend, returning home on Monday and your house is completely cleared out. Like, no wife, no life, no nothing. I don't know. I feel like this could be more symbolic for something else, more than it is so literal. But what that is, I cannot say. So I don't know. We might have to see if anything of the sort plays out in the media. Otherwise, this could definitely, as I said, be something more mystical that perhaps nobody will on a mainstream level will get wind of, but the effects of the change will be felt. They will resonate throughout the collective in some powerful way, because the more of these like secret asylums that are being, dismantled and disabled, that's more power and protection and privilege and everything is, that's what gets returned back to those, like that's the judgment and the transference of power and resources at that point, because when those operations are being dismantled and disabled, the energies that they've been siphoning and stealing are going to be released back to where they rightfully deserve to be, and to with whom they originated from. So it could be something like that, that is something that we may not even see. Certainly whomever this is, they don't see it, but maybe that's the energy of the Queen of Pentacles. Like I said, that energy is being rerouted. Now I'm getting it now. I'm getting it now. Like the energy is being rerouted. So this could even be the secret societies that have been preying on women. That's why I'm getting such a heavy influence on women, because what it should have been is a partnership and taking care of one another. And that's why there were so many kings. But in fact, it's been a power struggle for dominance and to ultimately like siphon the feminine force for, there it is, the what do you call it? The poor business practices, where that energy is being siphoned to build up the patriarchy and even the professional profits of such organizations that are dominated, or industries that are male dominated. Just the society, the world that has been male dominated, has still been running on the fuel of the feminine force, whether it's been whomever they connect with and siphon from back home, again, their partnership, or within the workplace. But it's really speaking to the imbalance, though, of that exchange and how it's being rectified now by way of persecution, as I said before, persecution or prosecution, whichever, and it may be both that you may fall into line with. But ultimately, like I said, it's transferring that energy back to where it rightfully belongs. Now, after all this time, I finally get it. I get it. And it's like, with the Lovers card, like I said, it's like that's where I was getting, like, whomever it is, it would be least, you feel most secure with the feminine force. And that's because, on the most toxic levels, the feminine energy hasn't been really revered to be much of a threat. We've been submissive. We're expected to go along to get along, to just take whatever we can, whatever is given to us, or to settle for less than what we're worth, or be happy with whatever we get, because we should be so privileged to have anything, whatever that anything is: power, money, respect, partnership, protection, profit, recognition, reward, whatever it is. But the universe says otherwise, and now is honoring the balance that it always ordained to, that there was always intended to be. And that's where this false expectation is coming in with the Three of Wands, where what men in general just always feel an entitlement to be able to find their ways out or on top whatever, you know, they feel they have the power to do so. And the rude awakening now is that the power that they were manifesting that privilege on is now being returned slowly but surely, and probably, you know, in an accelerated way at some point, back to its original source, so that there won't be this surplus of energy to siphon from anymore as it's been before, which means that there's not as great of a privilege and influence or an overpowering or a control over circumstances as there has been in the past. Now it's the natural order, and that judgment card is like everything is fair. You're going to account for your choices. You're going to be held responsible and accountable for your actions, and you don't get to offset that charge on anyone else or leave someone else holding the bag, or absorb someone else's power and energy to supercharge you to see your way out of something, but leave somebody else in despair. Like, none of that. And it is mystical. That's why I was picking it up as either or, because it's actually quite diabolical at the core of it all. And it's an energy, like, it's like a deep, dark, like subconscious, you know, a dark psychological practice that some men don't even realize, because of our conditioning in our dualities, that they actually are initiated in. Some men don't even realize what they do and how they do it. But of course, there are those that know exactly what they're doing, and they are intentional about wielding their power and their force in, you know, very unfair ways, you know, to put it way too nicely, you know, in quite narcissistic ways. I'll say abusive ways. And I said abuse of power, didn't I? But anyway, something's turning over. So like I said, whether you get to see it or you don't, whether this plays out in a public space, know that it's also happening behind closed doors, maybe in an underworld space as well. And the effects will probably play out in this new surge of energy for feminine force, and for those that nurture both dualities within themselves and are careful not to be abusive or out of integrity with how they treat all living beings. You'll feel the upsurge, like a power returning to you. And particularly given that we're about to hit this partial lunar eclipse, where some things are actually being closed out. So that energetic influence by way of that transit is something that also may resonate as a power surge for those that are in alignment for it. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I kind of did it was really hard to get to, and I think it really comes down to, it's like I said, the masculine energy, those that know they're in alignment for this ass whooping, is like they don't really want it to be known that that's what's about. Some of them want to try to find some back door of escape like usual, or a way to kind of like, you know, shift the blame, or shift, you know, like shift the persecution off on another, filter through another frequency like they usually do, without anyone being with no one being none the wiser, however that saying goes. And so that's why it was giving me such trouble to see beyond what I was seeing, because that's the projection of illusion that is really most anticipated. And, you know, like there's a desperation for that illusion to be upheld for as long as there could possibly be, you know, some possibility of escape for those that know what's coming down, you know, from what's from way above their pay grade at this point in time, which means it's way above their control or way beyond their control. Yeah, so that was the illusion part, because it's wanting to be seen that everything's good, nothing has changed. You still do you, I'm gonna do me, we're all good here. Nobody, nobody panic, nobody move. Meanwhile, they trying to moonwalk their way out of retribution by any means necessary. And it's like, Spirit's like, no, you don't. Ain't no rescue team coming for you this time. You gonna have to get this spiritual work. Judgment Day has commenced. Yep. So anyway, thank you for listening and watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.